Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Our House 21, and it's time to introduce a new project and have a little unboxing. But I'll get to the unboxing in just a minute. So, you guys see, it looks like Team Our House is getting a little bit bigger. And if you've been following the Facebook and Instagram, you would have already seen a little bit of a preview of this. But what's going on? Okay, so over here, we have our old friend Dizzy. And you guys have seen him inside and out. Last time I had Dizzy out, he just squeaked past 100 miles an hour. But, you know, I had a failure, and it's my part, not his. But basically, I still have Dean's connectors inside of here. And they're just, Dean's connectors only rated about 50 amps, 50 or 60 amps. That's not enough to handle the power that these cars push through. These are 1 to 200 amp power systems. They need a lot more juice than that, and the Dean's just wasn't doing it. So basically the power connector came desoldered in the middle of my run, and it ended my day. So to fix that, Dizzy is getting upgraded the castle connectors all the way around, and which means I can't just have one vehicle running one thing. That means the whole fleet is getting upgraded to the castles, or at least all the speed run cars. But that's enough about Dizzy for a moment. What do we have over here? This is a teaser, because this car is not going to be around in the collection for too long. I'll get to what I mean by that just shortly. But if you look right in here, this is a large fraction of a full XO-1, isn't it? Not really. Maybe, kinda, sorta, almost. What am I talking about? Okay, so let's go back over here to Dizzy for a second. Let's see if I can wrestle the body off of Dizzy one-handed. Okay. So Dizzy is a slash. Well, slash, rally. The Traxxas four-wheel drive platform. Highly modified, but there's a slash in there somewhere. This guy right here, this is an XO-1 rolling chassis. Okay. So if you look in here and you get a good look inside, I mean, just from a top level, quick once over, you see that there's a lot of stuff that looks kind of similar between these two cars. I mean, let's just check them out. I mean, you've got the shocks. They look pretty much the same. They both have these these supports. Now that's my doing, it's not Traxxas's. But this kind of, I'm just trying to show a point here that when you look inside of here, like look at these, the suspension geometries and the shock towers. I mean, these are aluminum, but I mean, all this stuff looks pretty similar. And the reason that it looks pretty similar is because it's largely the same. And this is one of those well-known secrets. But Traxxas doesn't reinvent anything when they don't have to. So they had a proven winner with the slash four-wheel drive platform. So that's the slash LCGs, rallies, slash platinums, stampedes. All this stuff is built on the same core group of parts. So if you're going to start and build a 100-mile-an-hour dedicated car, what are you going to use for your foundation? You're going to use the same parts. So when you look over here and really delve into it, the front clip here, this is all slash. Now, there's some notable exceptions in here. I'll jump to that in a second. But you look at the A-arms, the differential case down in there, these aluminum knuckles right here. Now, this is all stuff for the slash playbook. And going to the rear end, you got similar types of things. We have the aluminum knuckles, you got the AR. Basically, this is a complete slash rear clip and a slash front clip that's been stretched, so an extra long drive shaft, and all bonded together. And you've got some custom stuff in here, like the motor, the battery mounts, which are pretty slick. That's new. And the way the motor mount, which is pretty slick, that's new, although that's not completely unique, and there are other models that use similar things. But like the pinion and spur layout, that's different. than a slash, but you know, if you remove all this plastic stuff there, it's the same basic geometries. So they're basically, you know, exactly the same, except Traxxas had to be able to justify the extra price tag, you know, because a slash vehicle, I mean, you can get a rally for mid 300s, and you know, but go all the way up to like the slash platinums for like $600 or $700. Okay, but XO1s, and these things used to be $1,200. They've come down in price, but still, like the new XO1 with the stability system from Traxxas, you know, they're asking $750 for that kit. So if I can get a rally for like $350 new, or maybe it's $400, but if I can get a rally for $300 or $400 new, and it's got very similar guts to it as an XO1, why do I need to pay $700 for this? And like I said, the big difference is, you know, well, you got the electronics. So you got this big 1717 motor. And then you have the Mamba Monster Extreme power supply. But let me demystify that. Mamba Monster Extreme is a Mamba Monster 2 with built-in cat pack. So if you know how to wire up a cat pack, it's the same ESC inside. So, and same current handling capacity. So how they justify the extra bits or the extra money are like these aluminum bits. So you got aluminum shock towers. You've got these aluminum axle stubs or axle ends, axle carriers. You also have these Traxxas CVD drive shafts, and then that's probably the biggest single expense in here. But everything else, I mean, these are fairly inexpensive. I mean, the underbody, you know, aluminum plate. It's just aluminum plate with holes drilled in it. You know, it has to be machined, but it's a very simple design. These plastic pieces, this is a little bit complex. There's some engineering that went into this, but you know, this is molded plastic. So the expense is really coming from all these little upgrade parts. But what if I wanted to build something that was mechanically equivalent to this, but didn't have the same price tag? Well, that's where this guy comes in. So this is an engineering challenge I gave myself. I wanted to see if I could build an XO1 car, a fully XO1 compatible car, but not pay the XO1 price. So that's where my good friends at Dollar Hobby come in. So if you've been following the feeds, you see that I've been picking up a lot of XO1 parts in order to make Dizzy into the monster that you see here. But you see, as much as I love Dizzy, this is very cramped in here. There's not a whole lot of room because I have to jerry rig a lot of stuff in order to fit. So I want to go over to the XO1 platform, just mainly to experiment with, you know, having a little bit more room to work with underneath the bonnet and not have to work around so much stuff. But like I said, I went to my guys at Dollar Hobby and just ordered parts to fit him and ended up with all these extra assemblies. I realized that just for a little bit more money, I could start completing some of these assemblies. And I started doing some research, and I discovered that inside the XO1, you know, they actually use the exact same differential cases front and rear as the slash platforms. The shock towers, these are different. However, the XO1, if you look up the part numbers, this is the rear shock tower for the slash platform here, but it's actually, I'll set that backwards. This is the front shock tower for the slash platform here, but they use it as the rear shock tower. Now this is aluminum versus metal, but that's no big deal because you look at the part number, it's the same part number with an X behind it. These are mechanically equivalent. So I can actually use an XO1, or I can use a slash front shock tower as an XO1 shock tower completely, just with no modification, just put it right in, same geometry. The front shock tower though on the XO1 is a little bit smaller, but if you know what you're doing and know how to set up a car, you know, I mean, if you look underneath the body when this thing is all set up, there's actually a lot of room in here. So you could actually just say screw it and run a stock slash setup. So you can just take the slash body mounts, put them on. They're going to be slightly taller. So then you just, if you know how to set up suspension geometry and everything, you just maneuver everything around, set it up, and you can run a complete slash front and rear end. And that's exactly what I have laid out here. So if you look, this is slash platform differentials. They are slightly different than the XO1s. And the big difference is that for the XO1, there is a little bit extra reinforcement in to handle basically high power thrashing. However, the stock, you can pick up stock slash units online for pretty cheap. I mean, very cheap. So I would argue, just take these units, upgrade the differential fluid to something that's a little bit more stout. The XO1 uses 100,000 weight up front and 30,000 weight in the rear. So upgrade it to that. That's going to give you a lot more diff action, or when it's firm up your diff, and just run them. And if they break, replace it with another slash unit. Similar thing with the slashes or the XO1s. You end up, the XO1, one major difference in these drive shafts is that they have a 6mm output shaft. The slashes are only 5mm. But don't worry about that, because you can order a complete kit or a complete front and rear slash drive. You can order a complete front and rear axle in carrier assemblies from places like Dollar Hobby, for a fraction of what you can get over here. And these are mechanically drop-ins, and they work perfectly with the stock slash drive shafts. So for stock slash drive shafts, which are very inexpensive at many sources, including Dollar Hobby, and these hubs, you can put this all together and take a look. All these camper links, they're the same. So you have to adjust them properly to fit the car, but you've got 100% compatible suspension going across the whole thing. Now there are some big differences. You are going to have to get the XO1 specific. So you need to get the XO1 specific receiver box. You need the all of the steering linkages, your servo saver assembly and all that, with your steering arms. But again, you can get those things pretty inexpensively through Dollar Hobbies and other online sources. But the last piece of the puzzle is the XO1, as you can see, uses 17mm wheels. These aren't stock XO1 wheels, by the way, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you can use stock 17mm wheels, or let's just say commonly available 17mm wheels with the XO1, and it works. You just need to adjust the suspension to give you the right ground clearance and everything. However, since with the different size drive shafts, you can't just take the XO1 shafts or XO1 specific, or I should say the 17mm hub ends. But that's okay, because you can just go ahead and get the conversion kit for the slash, which I picked up for $30 at my local hobby shop, but you can find them for cheaper online. And this bolts right on. So now you have a completely XO1 compatible vehicle. It is an XO1 for all intents and purposes. And with your motor mounts and everything, you drop it all in, and you won't know the difference. So you ask yourself, okay, it's XO1 compatible, but it's not XO1. It's not going to be as durable. It's not going to be as tough, is it? Well, this car right here, and other guys like the Rendy and V crew, like Lamont's car Clockwork Orange, that thing's been up to 127 miles an hour / LCG based platform. It's majority stock running here, well maintained, but he's wrecked that thing many times and turned around and rebuilt it, just went on with his day, and just kind of demonstrating the point that in general, if you set up your car correctly, you're going to break it before it fails. And it's a lot cheaper to replace one of these drive shafts than it is one of those drive shafts. So what am I doing here? So, like I was saying, this is mainly just an intellectual exercise. I want to prove a point. So I'm going to finish this chassis here. I'm going to build it all up properly. And this is going to become a full rolling chassis. And I'm going to put this guy out there on eBay. And I'm going to list it at a reasonable price. But I'm really just building this just to prove to myself and to everybody else that it can be done, and that it can be done and it can work well. So one of you guys, I haven't fully decided if I'm going to set it up with the stock, with the slash, shock towers, or if I'm going to go with the XO1s. I'm just going to look at some other things. But the point is that this is going to be a runner, and it's going to be a car that can be beaten on and be durable. And if it does break, then you don't have to worry about trying to, break your bank in order to try to fix it, because you can use all commonly available parts, either from your local hobby shop or from online sources. So I would keep this car, or actually run the car that I'm going to be setting up for myself in this configuration, except for one key thing. I was talking to my good friends down at Boca bearings, and they wanted me to do another set of installation and benchmarking videos for one of their new, well, actually it's not new, but for another one of their products. So let's go ahead and see if I can do one-handed unpacking. Here we go. Oh, come on, guys. A bag in a bag, really? Okay, so give me 1 second. I need to cut this open. Okay, so let's go ahead. And what do we have here? This is something really special. This is a set of Boca bearing orange seal ceramic bearings for the XO-1. This is cool. This is a $250 set of bearings for the Traxxas XO-1. And this is going in my new XO-1. You're going to see me do the full installs, and you're going to see me also benchmark these guys just like I've done in the past. And we're going to see an A to B comparison, versus stock Traxxas, steel ball bearings and these ceramics, to see what these things can do. So I'm excited about this. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, but the deal is that this is only compatible with the stock XO-1 suspension arms. These suspension hubs. And the reason is, like I said, the XO-1 has a 6mm drive shaft as it comes out, whereas the stock slash setup is a 5mm. So there's only actually like a few bearings that really makes a difference on. But if I'm going to do it, I have to do it all the way to make the data be clean. So yeah, so we're getting orange seal ceramic Boca bearing upgrade for my XO-1 keeper. And then we're going to get this guy. It's just going to be laid out, but full XO-1 compatible slash base build-up. And once I get done with that, you're going to see this guy. I'll just do some test fits. I'll put on some wheels and I'll show you how the body and everything goes together, but then it's going away. It's going to one of you guys. You'll see them up on eBay. I'll advertise on the channel. But yeah, it's like I said, I'm building this just to prove a point. And I know it's durable because it's going to have the same bones as this guy. And this guy, is just proven to be a trooper. Durable, strong, and everything. If you have a slash already and you're familiar with all that, this shouldn't be that tough for you. But if you're a noob, then you probably want to get a little bit more experience before trying to jump on that. And that goes for any of the 100-mile-an-hour kind of cars to begin with. Lamont was teasing me when I told him I was going to go ahead and launch into some XO-1 builds, because when you look on YouTube, there's a lot of videos of guys crashing their beautiful new XO-1s. But when you start to really dig into that, you see that a lot of those crashes are, guys making what I call rookie mistakes. There's, a lot of guys with, just kind of jumping in a little bit. The XO1s by default come with the white springs on them. These are very soft springs, and with the and if you play around with those, they give you a lot of suspension. Well, they're very soft, so the car's gonna be moving around like crazy. That's okay if you're tooling around in a parking lot at 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. If you're going 100, no, very bad, bad idea. So you need to have something that's a little bit stiffer. And you see how this car was set up. The ride height was actually dropped really low, and actually it's probably a little bit too low for this application, especially using new tires. But it's dropped low, and there's a lot of preload. Basically, you're really limiting the suspension motion. And you look over here, that's how Dizzy's set up. You don't want this guy to move around a lot. You want, by having a high preload on the shocks, making the suspension very stiff, it's going to be very quick and responsive to bumps, which is what happens at 100 miles an hour. But the car itself is going to be pretty, you don't want this thing moving around, so that's one of the big bad things out of the XO1 by stock. Another thing is that oftentimes the ride height's wrong. When this thing is under power with a soft suspension, it's going to want to squat down. The back of the car is going to fall down, the front of the car is going to raise up, the air is going to get underneath the car, and it's going to get airborne. It's going to go do backflips. So that's another big no-no. But again, it's something that someone who's been out there in the field and have, had some cars go flying on them, they know this stuff and they know how to tune around it. Another thing you see is there's weight on the front of the car. This isn't a lot of weight by any stretch of imagination, because a lot of the guys running XO1s put a lot of weight on the front to try to keep it down. I've seen over a pound on the front of an XO1 before. Do you need to do that? Okay, well, I haven't actually run the XO1 XP yet, so I'm not sure how nose happy it does get. But I also noticed that a lot of those guys who were putting extra weight down didn't have the high-speed spoiler built onto their car. That guy is made to push down to give you downforce. So I'll argue that if you have the car set up properly with the weight in the right place, with a little bit of a downward cant, you're not getting under the car, so you're generating good downforce, then you may not need quite that much weight. But this car doesn't have a motor in it yet, but just kind of lifting it up. Well, right now it's nose heavy. Well, actually no, like right now the center of gravity is right about there, which is about where you want it, but that's where you want it when the car has a full load. So the fact that the center of gravity is right here, right almost in the middle of the tires, says as soon as I put the motor and ESC on, which are heavy, this thing's going to be way tail heavy. So it's going to probably be like 60-40 weight distribution, maybe even more than that. That's bad, because if the front of the car is really lightly loaded, it's going to be even easier to make it into a wheelie and make you go flying. So I might have to address that. But one of the last things that's a really big deal that I'm actually a little bit disappointed that Traxxas didn't do a better job on, this body. And this right here, this is a beat up runner body, that the previous owner of that particular chassis was using, and it's been beaten up. There's a lot of road rash on here, which to me says, it's very, very clear that this car spent a lot of time upside down. And, looking at it, this body's got some tears and it's got some issues. Why? Well, when you start to get up towards 100 miles an hour, there's this concept called dynamic pressure. Basically, the force of the air is pushing against the front of the body, and it's pushing several pounds. So I have several pounds of force pushing against this body. It's flapping in a wind. It's going all over the place. And there's actually, I forget whose video it is, but there's some in-car run video where someone had a clear body, and they actually had, I think, crash video of their car. But you could see inside the car as it got up to speed, this thing's flapping around like crazy. So, this body, it might be good for parking lot tooling and everything. It's not made to withstand the force of that speed. So how do you solve that problem? You see me solve that problem. So for my run body, it's going to get a nice fresh dose of the fiberglass treatment too. And once that gets treated on, this is structurally sound, it's tight. You know, it's not going anywhere. So there's going to be, this isn't my run body. You're going to see my run body when I start working on it. But you're going to see that guy get all done up in our house colors. And you're going to, so it's going to, it's a stablemate of Dizzy. So they're going to look related. But I'll show you when the paint scheme is all done. But, you know, I gotta reinforce it. You know, that's just not gonna do. It's just not. You know, this guy's been upside down and all around many times, and no worse for wear. You know, structurally tight as a drum. You know, that needs some attention. But you know, so I'm gonna be learning, and there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for me to learn. But you guys will be learning along with me. So keep tuned, keep the channel. You will see some interesting developments coming through. Because, you know, like you're seeing 1.5 XO1s right here. I'm not done yet. There's more XO1 stuff coming. So you'll see how all that lays out. So keep an eye on the Facebook page, on Instagram, and also on the eBay side as well. You're going to start seeing a lot of interesting stuff popping up here. So this was a little bit of a long one, so I'll try to edit it down and make it a little bit more reasonable. But I hope you guys are intrigued. I hope I got your attention. So as always, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Remember the mantra, fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, and do it all over again. And remember to, like I said, check me out on all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, or what have you. And you guys, you know, thanks for all the support, by the way. Thanks for all the views of the Run DMV series videos that we've been posting. You know, I think we're trying to do some good things just for the speed run community in general. But, you know, I'm trying to keep you guys interested and, you know, trying to inspire you a little bit too. So I think this is going to be a really cool build, and I'm really excited about how this is going to end up. So you're going to see this chassis compared against a full-blown I say race trimmed XO1, so that we can see how they compare. But I think that this is going to be some cool stuff. All right, guys, our House 21 signing out. Peace.